click the like button, share and subscribe. It's free.
Yeah, my question is about 14 words. It's a simple question. It's 14 words. My question to you is the following. When you meet Constable Zungu on the 13th of November 2019, this is a question that I'm asking to you. Did you ask him, what do you know about the killing of Senzo Meyewa? Yes or no?
The answer is no, my lord. But I qualified it to say I could not have asked that question because it was non-existent.
Thank you for that.
It was non-existent, my lord. The purpose of the meeting was insofar as the follow-up meeting with regard to his father. That was the purpose of the meeting. I was not aware of the information that I obtained in the later stage, my lord.
Umpendulo ke kumbuzo ukuthi ke ngeyi-13 kaNovember 2019 ngambuza yini ke uConstable Zungu ukuthi khona yini akwaziyo ngokushona kwakhe uSenzo. Impendulo ke cha noma ke uno ngoba ngishilo ke ukuthi ke kungani ke ngisho kanjalo ngoba ke ngaleso sikhathi leso ke akukho engangikwazi noma enganginakho okwakungangibangela noma engangiholela ekuthini ngimbuze loyo mbuzo lo.
At what stage did the issue of his father arose?
It arose the very same day when I met him in the office of the National Commission.
Udaba lukababa wakhe ke lwavela ngalelo langa uma ngihlangana naye ehhovisi lakhe uNational Commission.
Brigadier, I'm going to refer you to the proceedings of the 7th of September 2023. It is at the stage when Constable Zungu was being led by my colleague Advocate Baloi. It was at the stage when he was giving evidence in chief. I'm going to start at page 43 of the record, or the proceedings of the 7th of September 2023, at line 22. Okay, let me start, my lord, I'm sorry, at line 16. Mr. Zungu, I was actually going to the National Commissioner, then the then National Commissioner referred me to GININDAS. Who was the National Commissioner? That is a question now from my colleague Advocate Baloi. Who was the National Commissioner then? Mr. Zungu, Kehla Sitwan. Mr. Baloi, yes. Mr. Zungu. Then towards the end of the year, it was on the 11th of November 2019, I received a call from General Nishaban informing me that Colonel GININDAS would like to see me. A meeting was set out for him to see me, but it did not happen on the day. He saw me 18th of November, Mr. Zungu, Brigadier GININDAS. Mr. Baloi, yes. Mr. Zungu. Thereafter, General Nishabane called me, intervened. Mr. Baloi, yeah, but what was discussed at the meeting with Brigadier GININDAS on the 13th of November 2019? Mr. Zungu, he asked me, what do you know about the killing of Meyewa? Mr. Baloi, yes. Mr. Zungu, I told him that I know nothing, and there is nothing that I can talk about. Close quotation.
Yeah. No, I've got it. My Lord, as I've said, when we met Constable Zungu, there was Brigadier Perumal, who was my senior at the time. I was a colonel. And I know that he engaged with him. I may not recall exactly what he said. Insofar as my party is concerned, my Lord, and it's consistent with what I've said, even during the trial within trial, it was a follow-up because the assertion that was given to me, there was no knowledge at my disposal that he was involved in or he has knowledge in the matter before court. I didn't have that information. The follow-up of the meeting was in relation to his father as to whether was he able to convince his father to come forward and give us a statement. And I've testified about this, my Lord, even last year on the trial within trial, even as I was dealing with the evidence in chief, my Lord, to say the purpose of the meeting was with regard to the outcome, the positive outcome was that he then told me the father is now willing to meet us for a statement, and subsequent to that, the meeting of the 17th was made, and we met the father, and then he gave the statement. That's my recollection, my Lord, and that's how the events happened, because then on the 17th of November, indeed, 2019, we met the father, and I took down the statement.
Fundeka ngalendlela ke la ubufakazi ke lokho buka bange 7 September 2023 bakhe ke Constable Zungu Mr. Baloyi uma uya ke ema Telecom Towers ubani owuya kuyena ke lapho ngangiya lapho ke ngiyohlangana naye ke uCommissioner ngaleso sikhathi ke yena ke uCommissioner yena ke wase engikhomba ke kubhalelana ke GININDAS Mr. Baloyi kwakubani uCommissioner ngaleso sikhathi uZungu Khehla Sithole uma ke unyaka usuzophela ke kwakunge 11 November 2019 ngathola ucingo lubuya kuyena uGeneral Lishabane engazisa ukuthi ke uColonel GININDAS angathanda noma angafisa ukuthi ke angibone kwaba nomhlangano owahlelwa ke ukuthi ke ngibonane naye kodwa ke lo mhlangano awuzange uqhubeke ngalelo langa wangibona ke ngelinye ilanga kwakuyiliphi ilanga kwakunge 13 November kusho uZungu yebo ubani owambona nge-13 November uyaphendula uZungu Brigadier GININDAS emuva kwalokho ke uGeneral Lishabane waphinda wangishayela futhi ucingo kodwa ke yini eyakhulunywa noma eyaxoxwa kulowo mhlangano leyo uma uBrigadier kanye naye uBrigadier GININDAS nge-13 November 2019 wangibuza ukuthi wazini wena ke ngokubulawa kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa ngamtshela ukuthi mina ke angazi lutho futhi ke akukho engakhuluma ngiphendula ke ufakazi uthi cha ngaleso sikhathi leso ke akungeke ukuthi ngeke kwenze ukuthi ngambuza lokho ngoba alukho ulwazi enganginalo ukuthi ke uZungu khona ayekwazi ke ngishilo ukuthi nganginaye ke uBrigadier Perumal okwakuyena kwayisenior yami ngangiseyicolonel mina ngaleso sikhathi engangifisa ukwazi kuyena kwakumayelana ke nobaba wakhe ukuthi ubaba wakhe ngakuseyimisele yini ukuthi eze noma yena ukwazi ukuthi akhulume nobaba wakhe ukuthi eze azonikeza ngestatement yilokho mina engakhuluma naye ngakho yebo uBrigadier Perumal khona wakhuluma yena naye ke kodwa mina ngangikhuluma mayelana nodaba likababa wakhe.
So Brigadier, it is new to you that Constable Zungu told you this, that he did not know nothing and there was nothing that he can talk about. It is new to you.
No, my Lord, I've just explained. If those utterances were said, as I've said, Brigadier Perumal was there and he did engage with Constable Zungu, they could have been made in that context. Insofar as my party is concerned, my Lord, because this was a follow-up meeting, and I think even the record of Constable Zungu indicates that we met the National Commission referred, the former one referred him to me, then later in the year, then there's this meeting. So what I was sitting with was that there is this person who is father, who has knowledge about the people involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa, and I was moving in that angle, my Lord. So there couldn't be any, and what should be noted, my Lord, this is a witness. This is someone who's coming on, bringing in information to the police. Now, on what basis could I now attack and say, no, tell me this and this? I didn't have the basis of that. It was a follow-up, but in that meeting, my Lord, as I'm saying, and in fairness to Constable Zungu, there was then a Brigadier Perumal who had interest in the matter, we were together, and he may have asked, I just don't recall exactly what he said, but the purpose was this matter, my Lord.
Kwakukhona ke uBrigadier Perumal njengoba ngishilo ke naye ke oyefisa ukwazi ke mayelana nodaba lolu ke uma kuwukuthi ke waphendula kanjalo ke uZungu mhlawumbe kungenzeka ukuthi waphendula kuyena ke uBrigadier Perumal kodwa mina-ke nanjengoba ngishilo-ke kubhaliwe futhi-ke nalaphayana ukuthi-ke kwakunomhlangano kwakufanele ukuthi-ke ube khona-ke kodwa awuzange wenzeke ngalelo langa wase wenzeka kamuva-ke. Mina-ke ngangifisa nje noma ngifuna ukwazi mayelana nobaba wakhe ngoba-ke weza-ke nale information ukuthi ubaba wakhe-ke unolwazi analo mayelana nalelo cala. Nangu ufakazi uza kuthina-ke ne-information. Mina-ke ngangeke nje ukuthi-ke bese ngithi kuyena-ke ngitshele ukuthi wena wazini ngoba kune-information eze nayo.
So in essence, my lord, I'm saying if that was said, because the record speaks itself, perhaps there could have been a mistake in terms of who asked the question. Because like I said, Brigadier Perumal, as he was there, he had interest, he spoke to Constable Zungu, but insofar as my part is concerned, it's what I've testified about. It's the father, my lord.
Nanjengoba-ke kubhaliwe-ke khona lapha kwirekhodi-ke ngishilo ukuthi naye ubrigadier Perumal wayekhona-ke naye-ke futhi wayefisa ukwazile mayelana nalecala. Kusengenzeka-ke ukuthi-ke iphutha elenza ukuthi ubani owabuza loyo mbuzo. Mina-ke ukuba khona kwami lapha kwakumayelana nobaba wakhe.
Brigadier, unfortunately, it doesn't end there. On the 7th of November, the same proceedings of the 7th of November 2023 at page 59 of the record, the following was said. I'll start at line 8 of the record. Mr. Baloy, thank you. You mentioned a meeting that you had with Brigadier. Sorry, may I start afresh? Thank you. You mentioned a meeting that you had with regarding Brigadier GININDAS. Were there any further meetings with him, Mr. Zungu? Except for the meeting at Telkom Towers. He came to me at Kempton Park, Mr. Baloy. When was that? 13 November, Mr. Baloy. Yes. Was he alone at that meeting, Mr. Zungu? He was not alone. He was in the company of another brigadier, Mr. Baloy. Yes. Do you remember his name, Mr. Zungu? I remember the name. He introduced himself by the name Tony. That would be Brigadier Tony. Mr. Baloy. Yes. What happened at that meeting, Mr. Zungu? They asked me about my knowledge as to what is it that I knew about this matter, Mr. Baloy. Yes. Mr. Zungu. It is because there is nothing tangible which I knew except for which I have already alluded to. I then informed them that I did not know as to whether it was done or committed by them. I had no knowledge about it. Mr. Baloy, yes. Mr. Zungu. After he said that he was going to conduct his own investigation, intervene, Mr. Baloy. If you say you had no knowledge whether it was done by them, what do you mean, Mr. Zungu? That I would not tell lies to them and said that I had certainty that they are the ones that killed Mayo. Mr. Baloy, yes. Who are they? Who are you referring to, Mr. Zungu, the suspect? Close quotation. So, Brigadier, this evidence by Zungu is raising its ugly head now and again. It was now on the second occasion that he tells you that, look, I suppose with his straight face, I don't know anything about this. Understood. What is your comment?
My lord, I think first I think in fairness to me, this is evidence of Constable Zungu, and I think those issues really must be taken up with him if they must be dealt with at this length, because then it will be unfair for me to cast aspersions and say things, because the flow of the evidence in which he was asked, my lord, in the cross-examination, I was not in court. So I think really that assertion is really, I think it will be unfair. There's one meeting that took place, my lord, and this is not a second occasion. what I've heard, my lord, refers to a meeting where Brigadier Perumal was involved. It's the meeting that I was in. The location of Kempton Park, it's the same meeting that I was in. So there's one meeting, it's not two different meetings. And the understanding that is given here now is two meetings. It's if like there were two separate meetings. There was one meeting, my lord. But in fairness, I cannot comment. This is not what I've led, my lord. I've testified as to how it happened, and I think these matters, my lord, should be dealt with Constable Zungu because he was in court and he's the one that can, I think, be best vested to deal with these queries, my lord.
Ngaphambi kokuthi ngikufundeke lo daba ke lo kushiwo ke khona lapha ke kwakuwuZungu noma ke uZungu lo owayethola ubufakazi ke la ngangingekho ke mina ke manje ke kuyena ke umuntu osengakhuluma ke angazi ukuthi ke uma ehlonye imibuzo ukuthi lokho kwakwenzeka kanjani ukuthi mina ke sengingaphendula ke manje kuloko akushoyo noma ke okubhaliwe ke khona lokuthi wathini enkantolo futhi ke uma khulunywa ke ngayo ke iCampton Park yebo kunomhlangano owodwa ngoba manje sekuvela ke ngathi kwakunomhlangano emibili ke kukhulunywa ngeCampton Park yebo ubona lo mhlangano lo kwakukhona ke ubrigadier Perumal wawukho omunye umhlangano owawukhona ke lana uma nge-7 ngoba ke ummeli uthi ke apheli agcine lapha nge-7 sika November 2023 ku page 59 ku line 8 ufakaza ngalendlela ke uConstable Zungu ushilo ke noma ukhulumile ngomhlangano owaba naye ubrigadier GININDAS ngabe bakhona yayikhona yini eminye imihlangano kanye naye waphendula ke uZungu wathi ngaphandle komhlangano wase Telkom Towers weza kumina ke eCampton Park wabunini nge-13 sika November yebo wayehamba yedwa yini kuleyo mhlangano wayengahambi yedwa wayehamba naye ke omunye ubrigadier uyalikhumbula igama lakhe ngiyalikhumbula igama uma ezethula wathi ke igama lakhe uTony kwenzekani kulowo mhlangano lo bangibuza ke mayelana nolwazi lwami ukuthi yini engangiyazi mayelana nalo daba lolu kungenxa yokuthi ke kwakungekho okuphathekayo engangikwazi ngaphandle nje kwaloko engangisengibatshele kona ngaphambilini ngase ngibatshela ke ukuthi angangingazi ukuthi kwakuyibona yini abakwenza lokho ngangingenalo lolo lwazi lolo emuva kwalokho waseshoke ukuthi ke uzoqhubeka ke ngophenyo lwakhe yena uma uthi wawungenalo ulwazi ukuthi kwakuyibona usho ukuthini ukuthi ngangeke ngitshele ngikhulume amanga ubona ngisho ukuthi ngangazi ngesiqiniseko ukuthi yibona ababulala umeyiwa uma uthi bona ukhuluma ngobani abasola.
I know counsel has got the prerogative of how he wants to conduct his cross-examination, but we submit, my lord, that quoting just certain portions of a witness evidence without referring to the totality of the evidence, that might give a very skewed picture of that witness evidence, because on page 60, Constable Zungu then goes on to elaborate as to what he means, precisely on the issues that are now raised by counsel. And I don't know if he's still going to get to page 60, but the issues that he's asking Brigadier GININDAS about are answered by the same witness on page 60, and I think it's important that the entirety of his evidence be put to the witness.
My colleague, my lord, is referring me to, or the court, to page 60. I'm not too sure which line in page 60 is he referring to.
It's page 60, line 15, my lord. He says, but thereafter I had my knowledge when I was now certain that indeed it was them. and it says from accused 1 to 5. And it says because of the incident that happened on the day when I was there. And he then relates us to what the incident was. And he continues up to page 61.
My lord, I was quoting the passage of the record that I'm interested in. That is going to assist me in arguing the case on behalf of the accused. That is accused number 4 before court. Obviously, the witness, my lord, was talking about the events of the 26th of October, 2014, where he says on 2 occasions he met Brigadier GININDAS and informed Brigadier GININDAS that I don't know nothing about this case.
You know that evidence there. You can quote whatever you want. Because it depends on the...
Family. Let us talk about what Nxumalo is doing with Brigadier GININDAS. He has collapsed GININDAS. The strong pillar of Brigadier GININDAS was Constable Zungu and his father. You see what Nxumalo has done there. There is always a saying that say lies have got short legs to stand the test of time. That has been proved by Advocate Nxumalo. He started in a low profile when he started this questioning of Brigadier GININDAS. I was like, where is this guy going? But when he took a sharp or a blind corner, GININDAS could not see what car was coming on the other side because that was a blind corner. In that blind corner came a very powerful question that GININDAS thought that question will never arise because Mnisi didn't ask about it. Ramsipida didn't ask about. He was feeling more comfortable. But when that question arose about Constable Kwabeni during that meeting that happened, it was like a Satanist entered the room, the quietness in court, and the quietness from the prosecutors, and the quietness from the judge. You could see the judge rubbing his face, hiding his face. Not that they didn't know about this, that it might come, and they were not prepared for it. I think they were expecting it, that it will come from NIST. But it came from somebody they didn't even think of. He will bring it up. So what Nxumalo has done in that court, he has collapsed Brigadier GININDAS. It was like there was a stroke of lightning in court towards GININDAS. Even though Advocate Baloyi tried to rescue him by bringing a certain statement that was within there on page 60. But the court had to adjourn even before that statement was fully read. I think now they are going to be sitting down analyzing how to come about and try to rebut the damage that has been caused by Nxumalo. You could hear the voice of GININDAS very low when he started to answer that question. You could see that there was a little bit of panic from him, because this is no joke that this kind of issue has been tackled in court, because we know that every time GININDAS will refer his evidence coming from the Zungu family, which is the father of Constable Kwabeni, Sifiso Kwabeni Zungu. But now that pillar that was holding on now has collapsed. I don't know which pillar they will hold on now to keep them standing, because what Nxumalo has done in that court, it has left everybody holding his jaw like, wow, we didn't expect this from Nxumalo. Because Nxumalo will always play his cards close to his chest. He never showed them to nobody. He has proved that he can collapse however, or he can collapse any elephant. Because the two advocates that started, Ramsipidi and Mnisi, they were eating this elephant piece by piece, piece by piece. It looks like when it reaches Mshodolo and Mngomezulu, the elephant will be on its knees and it will not be able to stand. Family, what do you think about what Nxumalo has just done in court? Do you think he has made us proud? I think so. He has done a remarkable job slaughtering or collapsing the only pillar that was standing from the Zungu family, because that is where every time they will refer the meeting that was going on in the hostel, like the hostel is the scene of crime. Scene of crime was not the hostel, but scene of crime was the Kumalo in Fosoras, Kumalo house in Fosoras. But every time when they refer to the Zungu family, whatever happened in the hostel, it was turning the case like the case was the scene of crime was the hostel, when the scene of crime was not the hostel, but it was the Fosoras Makumalo's home. Family, drop your comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is part 1. I'm still coming with part 2 of this and part 3, because a lot has been done. The damage that Nxumalo has done, it's unrepairable. I just want to thank all the YouTubers that are into this case, who love to see justice for Senzo Meyiwa. I would like to say to them, bravo, keep it up, guys. We cannot let our country to be turned a banana republic by that old man and GININDA. So, drop your comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sisho njalo siphinda sithi uSenzo akalalanga ukucinga amadolo, until the right culprits who deleted his life are brought to justice and the family gets closure. Ngiyanithanda nonke ngothando lwalawo. Ngithi noma ngabe izindlu zodaka kusekhaya la. Let's fix our justice system. Bravo, bravo, bravo.